Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Rune News. I'm your host, Ryan, and as always, it's bloody good to have you guys here in the audience today. And as you can see, the Subathon is holding me hostage now. More time on the clock today than there was last week during the Rune News live episode. 2 days and 15 minutes, and I definitely am not feeling the most alive right now. But this week, Jagex has given us the stackable clues, a massive update, along with so many other changes, not just coming this week, but also let us know what's happening next week, which I recommend sticking around for to find out. We're going to go over those updates in just one moment, but I have one question for you guys to answer in the comment section down below today, and that is, why the fuck aren't you in the Subathon right now watching? Why aren't you here live? You got all the time in the world. You hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button. We're going to share all the content, all the news, and you will never miss a fucking drop here at King Condor Live for the Subathon. My name is Ryan. You're watching Rune News. This is Rune News, and you're watching Rune News. This week we have the Oldschool Runescape update. Stackable clues have fucking arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, this is big. A long time coming and quite a controversial update at first because they wanted to get rid of juggling clues, but now we get both. This is a big update, so strap the fuck in. We're going to go over this as easily as we can. And just for a little bit of a laugh down below in the comment section, remind Hank the Tank why he's got small balls because, well, he's too busy with Ilya to pour his cock in his mouth. So let's move on. First off, we got the stackable clues, and you're going to start getting scroll boxes, which are similar to the scroll boxes in the leagues. I think leagues 3, 4, and 5 we had them. The only difference is that there is a limit on how many you can have here, which is all controlled and mitigated by your completion of a quest, the kill of the mimic, and the current KC of each tier clue, which we'll go over just now. So first off, you're allowed to have one clue scroll and one scroll box, unless you have finished X Master Spot, which you fucking should have. That'll give you one clue and I think 2 scroll boxes now. Maybe the math is wrong. I think that's correct, yes. And then we move on here to basically what happens when you've got your maximum number of scroll boxes and you try to pick up another one. Apparently, it just fucking destroys it. As it says, if you try to pick up a stack of scroll boxes from the floor while you're at your current limit, you'll be met with a message that some of your scroll boxes were destroyed as you have too many of that tier, which is a bit of a questionable move by Jagex. Normally with clue scrolls you just don't get them as a drop. Instead they're going to start dropping by the sounds of it, and then you're just going to start destroying your clue boxes, which is unfortunate, but I mean, I just plan on doing my fucking clue scrolls anyway, so it won't affect me too much. Now, the Impling jars, you'll also get a warning when you've hit your cap, so you won't be able to open up too many clue scrolls too, which is awesome. That's expected. And now you've got the scroll case upgrades. Now this is how we upgrade our tiers to be able to hold more scroll boxes of each clue scroll, starting with the minor scroll case and the major scroll case, which will be rewarded to you in the clue scroll as you reach those tiers, which we have the tiers listed here behind us. Now, someone at Jagex for some reason felt that it was a more logical move to list the clue scroll tiers in alphabetical order rather than in order of difficulty. So we have beginner, easy, elite, hard, master, then medium. And the numbers that this is someone developing content for the game doing this. And either someone needs a reality check, or they need to stop using ChatGPT to write these fucking blogs, because it's a fucking mess. It doesn't impact the game. It's just this is the sort of like fucking brain power that's been used to write a blog. It's a fucking blog. But anyways, let's focus on the actual details here. So the minor scroll completion, if you've completed this many of each KC, your next clue scroll will give you the minor case, which you can open up and get an additional tier, and then major for the second additional tier right there of each different clue scroll. So if you ever forget, just check it out on the website, or just keep doing clues, you'll get it eventually. And it is all part of the collection log too, so you will only get one of each drop at a time. If you destroy it or misplace it somehow, you will get it on your next clue, and you cannot drop them and try to manipulate getting multiple tiers or whatever Jagex claims. They've already patched that with this information down here saying you can't cheese the scroll box cap by dropping boxes on the floor. So they think they've got ahead of the bug abusers in the game. I guess we'll find out. We know what Jagex is like. We know how confident they are against dupers. We're going to find out shortly. Watson's board, if you go to Watson, it will show you exactly where you're sitting in terms of your scroll box capacities, how many KC you've got, and if you've done the mimic scroll as well. Now, that's the question I've got here with Jagex, is that you got to kill the mimic to get another tier unlocked, right? So you start off with one scroll and one box. X Master Spot makes it 2 boxes. Small, minor tier and major tier makes it 3 and 4. And to get 5 scroll boxes plus the clue, you have to kill the mimic once. Now, it sounds like here, it says, besides earning scroll cases, the other way to increase your stack limit is through beating the mimic boss, which you will earn the mimic scroll case, which bumps up your clue capacity by all tiers, in all tiers by 1. So if you've already killed the mimic, you're going to have to kill the mimic again to be able to get that capacity increase, which is not really a problem unless you go dry on a mimic clue, but it's time to start farming those elites and masters anyway then. And make sure you go farm that mimic as soon as you can to get your final tier unlocked. And then obviously Watson will let you know down below here. Big for the Clue Scroll community. Mobile survey is currently on the website, which no one gives a shit about, so we'll skip over that garbage. Other changes, this is big. There's some massive changes here, which fixes a lot of last week's issues and also just looks good. Number 1, Soul Wars crates have been nerfed to shit. Basically, they're just like the Castle Wars crates now, except instead of getting Castle Wars ammo, you get pure essence. Pet rate's the same. Now, the steel ring doesn't look like shit on Crush anymore. It actually is aligned with being the best defensive ring in the game for melee, but isn't as good as the suffering because you don't get the prey bonus or the recoil charges. Tazara is now weak to 40% weakness. It's all a bunch of horseshit here no one cares about, except the fact that with the Duke, you now no longer, this is real. Last week's blog, they said, if you want to weight the Duke up, you can spam click with crushed mushrooms, but you must have a uncrushed mushroom in your inventory to do so. And that wasn't a bug, that was written in the blog. That was a conscious decision by a JMod to go, yeah, you got to have one uncrushed. I'm assuming to use it as a spoon to feed it to the Duke. I don't really know why the fuck they did that. But now you don't need to. You can just crush the mushrooms and just shove it in his gob and you're good to go. So big update there. The Baboon Shamans now have 40 HP, no longer at 212%, or in other words, a minor buff to their HP. And the Cursed ones have 20 HP now instead of... What the fuck did they have before? 20? I thought they already had 20, maybe 10. I have no clue what they've got there. They've fixed any issues, hopefully, with the Obor and Briarfighter keys. Apparently they were 1 in 16, but they were actually 1 in 32. Now they're 1 in 16, so you should be getting keys a lot more often. And the Growthling spawns are no longer an issue for Briarfighter. And that's mostly it. Oh, and they corrected some grammar in the Gauntlet lobby, which is fucking huge. So that pretty much wraps up this week's update. Next week, this is actually kind of a little bit alarming for lower level players or pures or people starting out in TOA. Currently, the best way, in my opinion, I think, is to do 345 invocation TOAs to get your Lightbearer of Fang. That's the best possible invocation setup to use because the rate doesn't get nerfed while getting maximum invocation points. After next week's update, it will drop to 300 flat. You'll lose that 45 invocation window because it looks like they're going to change the thresholds between 300 all the way up to 500. Starting at raid level 300. That's what I'm getting from this. Raid level 310, you'll have slightly reduced weighting from Fang and Lightbearer. You don't have that currently, so you've got a week now, a week now to get your Fang or Lightbearer. And you still can after, obviously, just the rates will get a lot worse beyond 300, which isn't a problem for me because I've got fucking 6 Fangs and I pulled my Lightbearer this week. So I'll take a G's in the chat real quick when you're ready. Otherwise, everything else seems pretty fine. Wildy bosses, big update for Ironman here. The damage threshold for Wilderness boss damage will be more balanced for Ironman to get their drops, which is big. This is next week, of course. And also with the Nightmare, if you die in normal Nightmare, like in the Nightmare Mass, you will now spawn outside the Nightmare room too, just like for Simon's Nightmare, which is huge for the Nightmare drop, Nightmare Mass, which we'll be hosting probably later this week in the Subathon, so make sure you come by, suck a dick. LMS is no longer on Osworlds, which is fine because we're getting racist anyway. That's the point of the Subathon. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is this week's Old School RuneScape update. My name is Condor Cheesecock. You're watching Rune News. My name is Ryan. This is Rune News, and now to the Grand Exchange update to make some serious fucking cash right now, right here on Rune News. RuneScape 3 had a massive announcement this week. Mod North, the chat himself, Prince Charming from Shrek 2, who I hope doesn't actually say mummy in real life when the fairy godmother is around, because that would really ruin the image of this notoriously great CEO of Jagex, has just announced that they are getting rid of MTX in RuneScape 3. And people have been coming to me all week during the Subathon, which you should be fucking here, by the way, at the Subathon. They've been coming through going, what's going to happen with RuneScape 3? Oh, like, is it still going to be dog shit? What's going to happen in the news? I'm not going to fucking ruin it for you this midweek, right? You're going to get the update today, okay? With the MTX changes in mind going forward, with the new improvements they're making to RuneScape 3 going forward, it brings us to one simple conclusion this week for RuneScape 3 and how this game is going to look going forward. And it's a simple fact, and that is that RuneScape 3 is fucking dog shit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grand Exchange update from Rune News. My name is Wade Grant, and this week the biggest rise is the fucking Bandos Godsword, and holy fuck, what a rise that is, all the way to the fucking top, 16.9 mil, and you can bet it's because likely to do with these TOA changes that have just been locked the fuck in. Now, some round lesbians in the game might be thinking, the Bone Dog is the way to go for TOA, only if you got fucking brain damage. Bandos Godsword with the horn. Beautiful fucking weapon. I do recommend the Elder Maul as well, though, because that way it's at least a guaranteed maximum drain on defense along with the horn. But the Bandos Godsword does eliminate the need for the horn, at least, unless there's another reason for this to be rising. I can't fucking think of one at the moment, but the Bandos Godsword, definitely a good investment to be farming. I wouldn't buy one at the moment. It may settle down and plateau out as we can see other TOA items dropping in value. We'll see how we go with the Delve Boss coming in 20 days time, 3 weeks, brand new Delve Boss. This item may be very useful at draining defense if it is not magic based. Now, an unfortunate victim of last week's update is the Harmonized Orb because, well, it's just no fucking good anymore. Demon Bane weapons and weaponry are allowed inside Cox. Jagex didn't fucking touch the subject at all, which means they're happy with it. The Burning Claws can now literally 2-hit the Ice Demon if you have enough luck in a solo Chambers of Xeric normal full raid. In a, what's it called, a challenge mode, maybe a few more hits. Emberlight is perfect, but there's no cap on Demon Bane anymore. There's no need for fire spells. You just run through the cunt like a hot knife through butter, like Rebel Montana through oncoming traffic in the fucking snow in the middle of America. Doesn't matter. You're cleaning up families left, right, and center. Burning Claws are absolutely smoking the shit out of Ice Demon, and the Harmonized Orb is just losing more and more value because until Jagex realizes that maybe allowing elemental spells to go beyond a damage threshold of 99 by being boosted by overloads and salts and saturated heart, you're just never going to see value in these elemental spells anymore. It's just the weaknesses won't do it. It's not enough. Now, usually we look at the Scythe of Vitur when it comes to the most valuable traded item this week, but the Tomb Becomes Shadow is actually taking the stage today because, man, this motherfucker is dropping hard. 1 bill for a Shadow, and that's a fucking bargain. I would be buying that shit up on the main account if I had... In fact, you know what? I've got the money on my main account. I might just buy a Shadow now while it's dirt cheap, because if any magic is needed at all at the Delve Boss, we know that it's going to be demon related. We know that they wanted to do Crush, and they got rid of the Crush weapon. We don't know how the Delve Boss is going to go, but fuck, if the Shadow is even remotely decent there, that shit's going to fly up a little bit. TOA is being farmed more than ever at the moment since probably the first few weeks of its release. Because of the new changes, they're very accessible. The raid is less shit. The Shadow is becoming more rare, but also being farmed more, so it's kind of fucked the rarity out of the pool at the moment. It being more rare does not matter. However, I'd be fucking looking at buying a Shadow at the moment because eventually Jagex is going to do something to push it back up beyond 1 bill. Once it drops below 1 bill, Jagex gives it attention. It'll be back up there in no fucking time. I'd be buying that shit immediately. And now finally, the Mole Slippers are taking a bit of a hit here because of the clue scroll changes. They're going to start coming into the game a lot more because people are going to start stacking their beginner clues. Free-to-play players, they can stack them all day long. Now, this isn't actually a legitimate price. This is more fear-mongering and trying to get yourself some cheap Mole Slippers today before people start snatching them up, because what do people pull their Mole Slippers? They go panic sell because they're like, oh, 400k, easy money. 400k for Mole Slippers, easy. They'll be 30 mil this time next fucking year. Mark my words or unfucking subscribe. Get yourself some Mole Slippers today. Get farming. Watch those people pull them out of their clue scroll boxes. Fucking send them. Tell your friends about it because that way you'll make money too. Buy yourself Mole Slippers today and become a rich cunt tomorrow. My name is Wade Green and I'm a fat cunt. Have a good night. Our first Ironman moment for the week goes to Grim Zaris, finishing his collection log here at the Gauntlet. At least that's what he says, but I don't see a fucking pet. And also, why are you sharing this on mobile while you're hunting black chins? Like, what, we're just hunting black chins and thinking, oh, yeah, by the way, collection log not completed properly at the Gauntlet. The background is a little confusing. I'd expect you to be at the fucking Gauntlet, flexing the KC in the log, not halfway across the map in the fucking wilderness. Get the pet, then fucking come back and show me that you finished your Gauntlet grind. Our second Ironman moment goes to our big boy dude who is a booger helmet getting his Jad pet. I think it's on 3KC, but more importantly, big boy dude here is a green helmet. I've got a message for you, Mr. Green Booger Helm, the Shrek head, and any other green helmet there in the RuneScape community. And that is, well, we all, look, you guys know what we think about green helmets. And basically, the message to you is that I've got a 10 bill bank worth of gear here. We got Scythes and T-Bows, Full Missouri's, Ancestral, Inquisitors, Harmonized Orbs, Volatile Orbs, looking to sell to any group Ironman team that is green helmet unranked. And if you would like to buy any of that gear, hit me up on Discord or hit up one of my boys, hit me up on the live stream, because we're trying to get rid of this bank because we just don't play the account anymore. Plenty of gear, plenty ready to go straight to a green helm, a booger team, free of charge. It's about 10 bill worth of gear, and you can buy it all up in a nice juicy deal for a very low price of 20 bill GP. We'll give it all to you straight away for free for 20 bill GP. If you want to buy little bits instead, we can work out a deal, but we are selling our group bank. It's massive, it's big. I put a video out on it as well showing the bank, so go check that out. So that's just if you've got a green helm, hit me up. I've got plenty of gear to sell you. And finally, we have, I don't even know if this is an item. Who the fuck is this? I can't see. Oh, it's Turtle. Oh, hold on. I can't see who it is because your name's covered. But I'm assuming it's Mr. Turtle Pair, considering I can see a turtle with a pair in the picture. Shadow and Fang in 2 expert completions. You're a fucking cheeky cunt. Fuck you. That's a horrible log. I don't want to see that shit again. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this week's episode of Live Rune News. Thank you very much for watching. Shout out to everyone that's come along to the Subathon, and thank you for the continuing suffering for another 2 days and 3 hours at the very least. My name is Ryan. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next week for maybe another live episode, if you're lucky, of Rune News. Have a good night. This is the easiest move in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.